moving in that direction, unfortunately. It's very important for Ahmadis and others who understand the problem to create a model of humanity and attract people all around them with human values. If they do so, then racism will not find an appropriate ground for it to flourish. On a soil where divine qualities are working, where God is the model for humans and they follow His attributes universally, racism cannot flourish on this soil. That is the only answer. The rest is all meaningless. So that is why I have been telling Ahmadis to produce around them a field of godly values. People will most certainly attracted by that field. And if we can win the war against time, then we still may be able to change the values here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. Yes, you are from?
I'm from West Yorkshire. I'm working there as a GP. My name is Mahmood Ahmed Khan.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask Huzur, what's the Islamic...
And how is your wife?
She's fine, Jazakallah.
Fine?
Jazakallah.
And your little baby?
She's all right, Jazakallah.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. I just wanted
Sayyida returned from?
no, she's still there.
Not yet?
Yes, unfortunately, it's his son, so she's still with them.
Okay.
Just wanted to ask, what's the Islamic view about the modern medical techniques that are being developed every day? Like recently, a human ear was grown on a mouse for later transplantation to a human being. And also about in vitro fertilization, which has been going on for quite a long time, in which the infertile husband and wife cells are used, reproductive cells, to produce an embryo, which is later transferred to the natural mother.
See, the guiding principle in all such matters is this, that whatever modern techniques or progress of science helps the creation of God to retain itself, it's all permissible, not only permissible, it is promoted by the Holy Quran. Wherever the modern techniques work against the creation of God, where you want to interfere and change it, it's all a satanic trend which, according to the Quran, is going to kick back very strongly upon the people who do it. So with this principle you can measure everything, and you can assess everything's value.
Yeah.
If somebody has lost an ear and an ear is planted over him without any damage to other humans, it's well and good, why not? But if you change the shape of the ear from that of a human ear to that of a rabbit, then certainly it's against the nature of God and should be forbidden. Similarly, those women who sell their reproductive cells and those men who do that, they work against the nature created by God.
Yeah.
Because they are making a short circuit of reproduction which lacks the values of marriage, and society is built by marriages and homes. Whatever is destructive to that is forbidden. And when you sell your parts to somebody else, it may create a completely different effect on the embryo and on the children of such embryos.
Jazakallah.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Hadhrat Ahmed.
Yes.
And I'm a fourth year medical student at Imperial College School of Medicine. I've got
the last 2 years you have been in fourth year?
No, sir, I'm doing an intercalated BSc. I'm doing an intercalated BSc for 1 year as well.
Right.
I've got two very short questions. First one is that non-Ahmadi medical student friends of mine refrain from dissection of human bodies because they relate to hadiths that says that laying a finger on a dead body is like,
Huh?
they relate a hadith that says that laying a finger on a dead body is like laying 1,000 tons of weight on a live human.
There is no hadith, there is no such hadith at all.
So we are allowed to dissect human bodies.
It's all nonsense. No such hadith.
My second short question is that what are your views on plastic surgery, specifically cosmetic surgery, regarding from the point of view of both the surgeon and the patient?
I have already mentioned my opinion. If plastic surgery is helpful for retaining the true features of a person whose features have become distorted because of injury or fall, traumatism, etc., etc., then it's an excellent thing. If plastic surgery is helpful in growing your hair on the head, while previously you had those hair and by some disease they are lost, follicles are damaged, etc., etc., plastic surgery is not forbidden at all. But if the plastic surgeon grows hair on your belly or on your leg, this is against nature. So it all depends on how you employ your knowledge of modern times. According to my answer given previously, anything which is helpful in retaining the nature created by God is very essential and promoted by the Quran very clearly. Anything which works against it is wrong. For instance, if you work in genetic engineering and you create such new forms of wheat, for instance, in the seeds, which because of the genetic changes brought about in them grow better, heavier and healthier wheat, I personally think there is nothing wrong with it. But if you create bacteria artificially which prey upon the bacteria which ultimately damage wheat. Now these artificially prepared bacteria are not created by nature. And when you release them in the open, they may do immense damage to the future generation of the bacteria which they give birth to and the future generation of crops from which they remove the harmful bacteria. Our knowledge of the harmful bacteria is still very limited. They may be really essential for guarding some values and protecting a crop from even more harmful bacteria. So the knowledge of man is really very limited in this area. And already they have started discovering that the animals which they thought were harmful and they were forcibly removed, they let loose the rapid production of certain other harmful animals which they were preying upon. Like it happened in long ago, before this subject of plastics, I'm sorry, before this subject of immunology in disease, in fields, in crops, was taken up by the scientists as a branch of science. Whether they produced genetic changes or whatever else measure they adopted, this has become a branch of science to protect the crops in the field from various harmful effects. Partially they imply genetics in this, but this subject has been a part of scientific attention even before the invention of genetic changes. In Australia, they forcibly killed a sort of rabbit which they thought created a lot of damage to the crops. So they completely annihilate